Hi, welcome back. We have Tim Larsen with Diaz and Larsen. You are an attorney and you deal with bankruptcy. So the first thing I want to do is have you define what is bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy is your constitutional right to file and discharge your debts.
Okay, so
That sounded really good.
Right?
that sounds good, but there's a pro and con to this. There's lots of pros and cons to this, right? Okay, so who qualifies for bankruptcy?
There are different chapters of bankruptcy, depends on what you want to file. Chapter 7, liquidation bankruptcy, Chapter 13, reorganization bankruptcy, Chapter 11, corporations. There's income requirements that you want to make sure you come to a qualified attorney for. If you're doing it on your own, you could very much end up filing the wrong chapter. You want to meet with an experienced bankruptcy attorney so you end up in the correct chapter for your specific situation.
Okay, so let's talk about how this works with taxes at this time, because taxes are due next week. And maybe some people are thinking, should I or should I not?
Good question. If you're thinking about bankruptcy, if you're considering it all, get your taxes done. We want your taxes prepared before you ever file bankruptcy. We want to know where you're at financially. Also, there are some issues to look at with bankruptcy and taxes. While taxes are generally non-dischargeable, there are some ways you can include taxes in a bankruptcy. You could look at doing a reorganization bankruptcy through Chapter 13 and including those tax liabilities you may owe.
Okay, so are you saying that maybe you owe the IRS, and if you file bankruptcy, you may be able to get around paying that?
You're not going to get around paying it necessarily, but through a Chapter 13 reorganization, you can pay those taxes back through a bankruptcy plan.
Okay, okay.
How long does it take? I mean, I've dealt with a lot of people, obviously, in the foreclosure business
Right.
that said, you know, I'm going to run down the court in 10 minutes, I'm going to file this. Apparently, there is some things you need to gather. How long would it take for you to get a client to actually bring the stuff in and file?
If you come to me for a free consultation, all our consultations are always free. If you come to me for a consultation, we can get you filed within actually a few days. That week for sure, as long as you get me the necessary paperwork that I need. You could actually run down to the courthouse, just like you said, and file your case. Probably not going to be a great case for you if you do it like that, though. You're probably looking at your case being dismissed.
Okay.
Right.
What about how people should feel? Tim, should they feel bad about filing bankruptcy?
I think if you're at the point of considering bankruptcy, you're already feeling bad. Most of the time, if you come to an experienced bankruptcy attorney like myself, you're going to leave feeling better. Because you're at that point where you're feeling at your low point financially. Bankruptcy is your solution. It's not the point that makes you feel worse, because it's actually your way to deal with the debts that you have in your finances and your constitutional way of discharging those debts.
Okay, so after you file, then what happens to the person? What if they want to purchase something in the next 8 years?
Okay.
How does that work?
It depends on the chapter you're in. If you're in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, those are generally pretty quick. They take a few months, and then you're discharged and closed. Then you are actually able to go, most of the time, get small amounts of credit, maybe a secured credit card, something like that. Oftentimes even a vehicle, maybe a little higher interest rate. You can do that. Chapter 13 is a reorganization where you pay back your debts over a period of time. You can still get loans, purchase things like homes, cars. You just need court approval and therefore an experienced attorney.
Okay.
Now, is there a payment that you're making to the judge or court system, or does he kind of like take everything into, you know, one big wrapped payment? Is that how it works?
Chapter 13, yes, it is a reorganization where you make one payment that pays those creditors that are in that bankruptcy. The Chapter 13 trustee disperses to your creditors.
Okay, suppose you don't, Tim, you don't want to file bankruptcy. Can somebody come to you and say, here's what I'm dealing with, here's my debts. Can you help them create maybe some payment system or through a company that can help them get out of debt?
If you don't want to file bankruptcy, come and see me. There's oftentimes, if you just have a few creditors, you may just want to settle with them. I can absolutely help you out with that as well.
Okay, so bankruptcy isn't the only option.
It's not the only option. Oftentimes, if you have a lot of debt and a lot of creditors, it's your best option. But if you've got a few and just want to settle with creditors, come see me. I'll be happy to help you.
Okay, can I ask you about credit cards? Because I think a lot of people don't realize that you can negotiate with your credit card companies.
Yes, you can even do it on your own. If you have a credit card, call them. Ask for a lower interest rate. They're not giving you the lowest interest rate that they can. So if that's a good first step just for an individual, if you're at the point where you're maybe really maxed out, come see somebody like me. I'd be happy to meet with you for free. We'll discuss a possible settlement.
Okay.
Do you also deal with any kind of like IRS debt, offer and compromise, things like that?
We
with
do,
people?
absolutely. Yes, if you're interested in just tax settlements, offers and compromise, come see us. We can help you out there as well.
Okay, so just because it says bankruptcy attorney does not mean that's all you do.
Right, we do anything with bankruptcy, settlements, IRS, those type of issues.
Okay, all the things that really in my mind I go, what? Well, makes you nervous, makes you kind of think about it. There's the information on our screen, Diaz and Larsen, right there. There's their address. They're just there in Salt Lake City if you want to drive by and see them. Free consultation the first time, right?
Free consultation.
Okay, there's the number. Give them a call, set up that appointment. You can also go online. There's their website. If you have any questions, maybe their website could answer some things for you. Don't forget, we'll also link you to ours at abc4.com. Click on Good Things Utah, and then we will have a link right there to Diaz and Larsen. Thanks, Tim, so much for coming.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
All right, coming up next, we promised you we would talk about autism. This is the month of April for autism awareness. We'll talk about that when we come back.